Hi everyone, I'm coming on to do another Show Me 5. Now, this is the set that I'm focusing on this week, and it's Dashing Deer, and it comes as a bundle, so you get 10% off if you buy the framelits and the stamp set together. Now, just wait to grab my catalogue. So, here we are here. So, for both together, for the clear mount, you are £46.75. Okay, and they are wonderful. I can't say any more about them. They are so good. Now, you get 9 stamps and they are red rubber. Just thin them out a wee bit. And they are red rubber. They are a great quality. Now, I always stick my stickers in the back because I find looking online there was a lot of people who were having issues with the sticker being on the back and it not sticking to the block properly. So rather than even attempt that, I just have always stuck them on the back, and it actually helps when, if I've got a stamp missing, I can see it's missing, so I know what I'm looking for. But they are fantastic quality, and they've got some lovely sentiments. Remembering you this season with warm thoughts and a wish for everything merry. Happiest Christmas wishes, many merry thanks, with appreciation for all you do and for your year-round spirit of giving. So they're lovely. The thinlets, or the framelets, sorry, cut out the images. So we've got one for this little deer. We have got one for this little deer. We have got one for the big deer. We have got little poinsettias. Now there is 3 whole ones and we've got 3 filigree, and if I pull this up hopefully you'll be able to see what I mean. Okay, and the full one is like that. Come on, focus. Yeah, so that's the full one, so you can layer them up or put them on individually, makes no difference. Now there is a stamp for it as well, so you could stamp it out in white cardstock with real red and then have the centre part in Daffodil Delight. It is completely up to you. But you get 13 dies in the set. You also get this one, which doesn't have a stamp, but it is the most beautiful die cut ever. Have I got one here? Nope. Let's see. The wrong one. Now I'll need to show you the one that I'm going to use on our card. But that is just wonderful, and all the detailing and the antlers is just beautiful. Absolutely love it, and I've used it tons. The flowers, to be honest, are a bit footery for me, but I have used the flourish. I think that is beautiful, and I have used the flowers. I just think they're a bit footery for my hands, but that's personal. That's not anything to do with the actual quality. That's just down to me. So I have got a load of samples because before I even started this series, I already had quite a few of this made up because I absolutely love the stamp set. But there's been a few requests for the stamp set, people that are still on the fence about whether they want to buy it or whether it's an absolute must. So I thought, right, okay, I'll do it. So let me move that out the way just now. Now, this is just my idea of a quick card idea. It's how I just get my sentiments and my card layout, and it's just doodles. I kind of put my card colours. If I don't think colours will work together, I have my little self-made colour coach, and I can just flip to whatever colour I want and then find the matching one. No, they don't go. So it just helps me to work out what colours go where. So I use that a lot when I'm doing my quick sketches for cards. If I'm sketching ahead, sometimes I will just play along and see what happens. But that is just my ideas for a quick card sketch. Right, these are ones I have pre-made prior to this series. So this one is copper and using the DSP from All Is Bright. It's a lovely card and you can see the detailing in that beautiful deer, and I've added a few copper sequins from our iridescent sequins. I have added some because I had the gold sequins trim and the black sequin trim, and to be fair, I wouldn't have used them, so I just stripped them, took a wee while and put them all in there because I will use the sequins eventually. So that's where I get all my metallic coloured. Did I say metallic or did I say iridescent? I think I said iridescent. It's not, it's the metallic ones. It's metallic, even though it hasn't got it on it because it's on the wrong container because I added more to it. But they are lovely, and just a few rhinestones on top. So that's one. This one I actually done for a case challenge, and the case was actually, oh, I don't even know if I've got it handy. Yeah, I do. This was more or less identical to the original, and it was Angela, I can't remember, Angela Meritz, Reed, something like that. It's on my blog, definitely, where I done it, because I always like back. But this was almost identical to hers, and then I wanted to show how I changed it, but used the same idea. So this one has got more of the poinsettias, and as you can see, I've got the full poinsettia there, and then I've got the filigree. So they are beautiful, and I've used the pink or the rose gold thread. I've used the Merry Merlot, and then went over with clear embossing. So it worked really, really well. And the banner there is from Pretty Petals or Petals and More framelits. So that was those two, because I just, when I made this one, it was off camera and I felt it was too busy with the 5 flowers. So with this one I added 3 flowers and 2 little rhinestones, and that worked much better. It's not as busy looking, so I preferred that, but I thought I'd show you both. This one is very simple, black and gold, perfect colour and very elegant, and I've added a few gold sequins, and the sentiment I have used gold embossing powder. This one is using the Under the Mistletoe DSP, which is very generical Christmas. It's got your poinsettias, it's got your mistletoe, it's got your checks, it's got your baubles. It is just general Christmas. Stamped a reindeer with crumb cake and then heat embossed it with some clear. I've used some gold foil that was in my stash and used the sprig punch. And I know it doesn't look like holly, but it's close enough for me. And then I just added a tiny wee bit of red glitter to his nose, just so that it added something. And I'm going to get annoyed, I've got a wee fruit fly and it's doing my head in. This one is crumb cake and early espresso, I used the corrugated card embossing folder. I've used some gold thread. I've used the Merry Thinlet from the Merry Christmas Thinlets, and also that banner came from there. I did gold emboss that, but for some reason it didn't work right. Don't know what I done, but it's pants. That can go to my mum or somebody for Christmas, but it's fine. I really like the colours of it. It's not classic Christmas, which I quite like. And lastly, this one was actually the very first one I made with the set, and I loved it. It's using the Dashing Along DSP, which is only available when you spend £200 on your order. You will get this DSP free, and it's beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. You have got like a newsprint, and it's only two colours. It's cherry cobbler, garden green, and your whisper white. So that's the only colours I've used, and it is just gorgeous. I really, really like it. And I think I edged it with, it looks like grey granite, because it's got a brown tone to it, which makes me think it's grey granite. This one I have added copper thread. I've added a wee tangle to his antlers. That'll show. Yeah. And at the edge there I have added a copper sticker, which is from the tea room suite, but it matched the copper that I was using there. So that is the ones that I have made prior to this series. So these are ones that I made for the series. This one is, and I'll show you the sketch that kind of worked with it. Let me just flip to it. So this was my sketch. So I had my card base. I knew I was having a white background. I wanted a crumb cake. I wanted to add a snow element down here, but I haven't done that. I've got my deer, which actually looks like a little deformed duck. If I can bring that up. It does look like a deformed duck, but it's okay. Then I've got a bit of a banner there, which I wasn't sure if I was going to use glimmer paper or foil paper or ribbon. I wasn't sure, so I didn't add that. I've just put the lines where I know I was putting something. Then I put Olive Bright. I knew what DSP I wanted to use with the crumb cake, and it was this one. So that is what that was. It's really simple. I just tend to, when I'm lying in my bed at night, I will just doodle a card frame and then just try and in my mind put it together so that it works. So I used crumb cake, Olive Bright DSP. I've used a little bit, I'm not even sure if that is current, that ribbon, but because if it is I need more. I've only got my ribbon share of it, and it's crumb cake. Yes, it is still current. It's crumb cake 3/8 of an inch classic weave ribbon. So I'm going to put that in my next order, because it is really, really great for this style of card. I don't, when I'm using it as a border, I prefer a ribbon rather than a braid. I just think it gives you more solid. It just works better for me. The deer is actually on white shimmer paper, which is gorgeous. And I didn't want to add anything to that. The sentiment is just crumb cake on crumb cake, and then just the white banner, almost the opposite of what was above. Okay. so it worked perfectly. And it is on a stamping layer because that's just how I prefer it. The next one up is a bit blingy, and it is gold foil paper with Very Vanilla. I have got a bit of Joyous Noel DSP, and this was this one. So I knew I wanted gold on the outside. I wasn't sure what my main colour was going to be yet, and I knew I was putting DSP down here, and I knew it was going to be Joyous Noel, but I didn't mark that in. And then I had put my deer down here. So it was the basic layout. Then I've put up here Sentiment, which works fine. I've heat embossed that on, and it's worked beautifully. I don't know what I've done in that other one, because I do heat emboss absolutely fine usually. It's crazy. And then I've just die cut where deer from gold foil as well, just so it all marries well together. Next one up, I'm filming here. Oh, it's all wired up. It's all wired up, just leave it please.
That's a plug.
Next up we have got our Copper and Merry Merlot. And to be fair, I think this one is a little bit busy. If I was to make it again, I think I would add a layer of Merry Merlot to take out the busyness of the DSP. I think that's just too busy for this card. I absolutely love the DSP, but I do think it's a little bit busy. The deer is copper embossing, but you don't see the detailing, which is quite sad really. I mean, you can see something in the embossing, but it's not popping enough. So for me, that didn't really work. And then I've heat embossed the sentiment, and I've just put a little bit of the copper glimmer paper down below. Tangled up some copper thread in these antlers again, and added some rhinestones and some sequins, just to add a wee bit of interest. Now this one is, let me see, that's the one there. So I knew I was using Balmy Blue. Inking or stamping, I wasn't sure. This kind of oval was, I wanted it down this kind of end. I wanted lots of white space. That's basically what I was thinking. Circle die in white, I went for a square, but at the time I knew what kind I was looking for. Then my deer and my sentiment, I wanted it all down, so I had lots of white space. And this is what I came up with. So for the background here, it was actually a stamp from Spooky Sweets I used, and I stamped it twice just, and it just gives that little bit extra tone. I then went in with a really soft brush, which I can't remember where I got these, but they are supposed to be for your perfect petals and things, for sweeping off excess and polishing it up. But I've been using them for my ink and I love them. I've used it quite a lot, and as you can see, the bristles come up white every time. All I do is have a baby wipe and just literally clean my brush on the baby wipe. If it gets really grungy, I will take it into the bathroom and give it a wee wipe with soap. But honestly, they are forever. I think I'm going to invest in a few more because they are superb for what I use them for. And as you can see, it gives you a really soft look. at blending out. I really like it. I then stamped my deer with Balmy Blue and die cut it. I stamped sentiment and fussy cut by eye where the sentiment was going. The squares, I used delayed and square dies, and it was the 5th smallest I used. Cut both in white, and then I went round the scalloped one with my Many Marvellous markers in Balmy Blue, so it gave me the edge. You could have done that for the outside, but it is just cardstock for the outside. But using it for going round the edge of this style of thing, it really saves your cardstock. So I can vouch for that. So that was my 4 that I made for the series. Okay, and I'm going to make the 5th on camera. So I have got things kind of prepped. We just need to kind of put it together now. So I'm going to move the cards because they'll just get in my road. And for this one, that's my layout. It is so random, but it works for me. So I have got Early Espresso. I have got some gold. This is my favourite gold foil paper. And see, when it runs out, I will honestly sob. I've had it forever and I use it mostly at Christmas time. And I think I've probably got about 2 A4 sheets left, and I swear when it's gone I am going to sob. I'm going to have about 2 days of mourning because it's just beautiful. It's almost matte, it's not glossy, and it's just so elegant. I have die cut the deer using the same cardstock, and because it's been through the die cutter you can't really see the embossing as well, but it is there. So I want that around there. Then I need a sentiment that I am going to cut from my Early Espresso, and I'm going to heat emboss it. So I just need to find the right sentiment. So Dashing Deer, and I think we'll use this one here. With appreciation for all you do and for your year-round spirit of giving. That's quite nice. So we'll go with that. And I just hope my fingers aren't too yucky because I don't have my embossing mat, the embossing buddy. I don't know what I've done with it. I'm going to need to hunt it out. I've kind of had a look the last 2 days and can't find it, so I don't know what I've done with it. It will be around somewhere. Right, so I'm just going to place that on there. Yep, that looks okay. Bit ski with, but we need to cut it down anyway. Then we need our gold embossing powder. So I'm going to roughly cut this out, okay? So I'm just do it that way. This is my gold embossing. I'm just going to dip it in, give it a wee shake off, and then do the other side. Give it a wee tap off. And it actually doesn't look as though there's any stray, which is good. I'm just kind of tilting it in the light to make sure, but I don't see any. So I'm going to just crack on and heat it up. Just need to grab my heat tool. turn it. I'm burning my fingers. There we are. So we've got that now, and I'm glad there was no excess crayon around. So we'll get that cropped down. I'm just going to use my little guillotine. So I'm just going to line it up on here. Let me just... What I'm doing is the bottom of the G's I'm lining up with my plastic guard, and then it's giving me probably about 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch, if that makes any sense. So I was lining up the bottom of the P and the bottom of the G's so it was straight. Then I'll just turn it this way, and I know that I've got a straight line at the bottom, so I can work out the rest from there. So if I go in about there, I think that looks good, and then turn it to do this side. Yep, that's perfect for me. So what have I got there? Almost 2 inches by 1, so I just need to cut a little bit of my gold to back it, so I need 2 1/4 by, I'll just go over the 1 1/4 slightly, so I've got a little bit of a border around it, and I can trim that down if I need to. Right, so now we can put our card together because I've got the basics in. Right, so I'm going to burnish this first because it's annoying me, it keeps popping open. Right, and it's going landscape. Now, ideally I would have got this card, but for time I'll sacrifice it, even though it's going to kill me in a few weeks when I've nothing left of it. Hey ho. Right, so a little bit of Tombow, like so. And just place it on so it's even. That looks good. Oops, must have been a bit of glue on there because it came across my card. That's okay. Right, then I want my next layer, which is my espresso. I'm still filming, but can you give Ben my charger? If Dad had took it, he would have just ripped everything else out the way to get it. Sorry about that. I need to add a wee bit of blue tack to my measurement bar in front of me because it's collapsing on me. There we go. Right, so that's that part done. Now, this one I want to keep quite flat, so I'm just putting it directly on. So I'm just adding spots here and there. And it is literally a spot, because if you add any more it's just going to seep out and just look silly. I want that to look as though it's leaping up, like so. And any parts of the antlers or anything that's not stuck down properly, I can go in with my quickie glue pen, so that's not a problem. Then we've got our sentiment, and just add a little bit of that. Layer that on. Push it up a wee bit. That looks fine. And then that's going to come in here. Will I put it up there actually? No. It's got to go down. So I'm going to put it up on dimensionals. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that one's kicking out a wee bit, so I need to move that over a bit. Or I'll trim it down, whatever's going to be easiest. That's moved over okay. 3 and 4. And I want that kind of even around there, like so. And that's it. Really simple, but really effective. And I will go through this with my little quickie glue pen, because there is a wee few bits there that have popped up. So all I do there is just prime it, and then what I do is just touch the end where I need it, prime it again, and I do it on my glass mat so I'm not wasting, because I can basically pick it up from there. So if I just lift that a wee bit, and I can just touch it under and no more. Do this wee bit under here, and this last one at this side. There we go. That's it. Done. And then all I need is my baby wipe wherever I put it. Doesn't matter, I'll grab another one and just wipe up that tiny wee bit of glue away. But that's it, completed. So that is our 5 made using this set. And I think you'll agree they're all varied. They're not the same card, and they're just really pretty. I think you're going to get value for money. Deals are always going to be about at Christmas time. They have been around for a long time, so it's not as if when this retires it's going to be that you're never going to be using this set again. I think that's not going to be the case with this set. I think you're going to be going back to that year after year after year, and it's highly probable that if it's popular it may still be around next year in the catalogue, but we can't guarantee that obviously. So if you love it and think you will get use out of it, go and buy it before it does retire, because Stampin' Up has got a habit of doing it and it surprises us all, and then we're left with nothing and we don't want that. So if you love it, go and get it. Just giving that wipe over because it was with VersaFine, Versamark even, and put it back in my box ready for the next time. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Don't know what the next series will, of Show Me 5 will be. It could very well be our Making Christmas Bright. I done this for a challenge over on Fab Friday. It's a blog challenge and I really loved it. It was a colour challenge using Tranquil Tide, Powder Pink, Highland Heather, Balmy Blue and Gorgeous Grape. And for the white highlight, I cheated. I used a little tiny bit of white acrylic paint, but it works beautifully. Absolutely love it. So I think I might use this for the next Show Me 5, because it's a lovely set. Anyway, thank you for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I will speak to you all soon. Bye for now.